Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Ashley and this is Ashley Talks Movies. Welcome to my channel. So 2020 is done. It's a new year, 2021, and there are new movies to talk about. So for this video, I'm going to be doing a review of Tom Hanks' latest film, News of the World. And this film reunites him with director Paul Greengrass, who he worked with on Captain Phillips. So in News of the World, Tom Hanks plays a Captain Kidd. And it's set, 5 years after the Civil War. He goes from town to town, reading the news to people. He charges them like 10 cents for them to come in to listen to him read various accounts from the newspapers. And as he's traveling from town to town, he comes across this 10-year-old girl who has been taken by the Kiowa people and raised by them. And she is from a family of I think it's German immigrants. And so he then decides to reunite her with her remaining family. So anyway, before I get into the full review of this film, while I have you here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos, and also hit the notification bell so you get notified every time a new video is posted. Okay, so on to the review. News of the World is basically a Western, and a Western in the traditional sense. Paul Greengrass, who is known for, the Bourne films, having worked with Matt Damon on the Bourne films, those films have a lot of high energy, a lot of action, and in this movie, he does the opposite. Like I said, it's a Western, and he doesn't really do anything new with it. But this movie is very slow. It's contemplative. There's not a ton of action. There is a few action sequences in the movie. But other than that, it's just a very slow-moving film, which worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for other people, but it worked for me, just given the type of story this is. This is a movie about coming to terms with your past, with love and loss, with finding family, whatever family means, and it's just a really beautiful, moving story. Tom Hanks plays Captain Kidd, and he's just this man who goes from town to town. He's all alone, reading the news to people, and he's the most unlikely person to be tasked with reuniting this young girl with her family, and yet that's where he finds himself. And he's very hesitant at first, but when the two of them get together, it's just this really sweet story that unfolds. And he does such a great job of playing this character who is sort of not ready to face the loss that he has suffered. While also, seeing this young girl who doesn't really know who she is because of what has happened to her. But really, the highlight of this movie in terms of acting is Helena Zengel, who plays the young girl. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue at all, so everything that she has to express is just through facial expressions or the few bits of dialogue that they do give her, but she does such a great job in this movie. I mean, fantastic. In addition to the acting, I mean, the cinematography for this movie is really, really spectacular. You have these sweeping, wide open shots of the American West. I don't know where this film was shot, but I think maybe New Mexico or something like that, but just that wide open space just makes this movie feel so big. And when they go on this journey to reunite her with her family, it feels like it's going to be this really big task because of how immense and wide and massive the desert is that they have to travel across. Like I said, it's a slower moving film. It takes its time with how it reveals things. Like I said, there are a few action sequences in the movie. Just a sort of like a shootout, which is typical in a Western. There are certain things that happen in this movie that are very specific to the Western genre, and this film does that. Like I said, it doesn't do anything really new with the genre, but it follows the beats perfectly. Really, my one complaint about this film was, for all of the things that do work in this film, the acting, the cinematography, even the set production and production design. It feels like a Western. The saloon and different places, the little towns that they go to, it feels very much like you're back in the Old West. For all the things that do work in this movie, my one complaint was there are a couple of times where this film uses CGI, and it is really obvious and it's really bad. I'm not going to say which scenes that they use them in, just to avoid spoilers, but yeah, there's a couple of times. There are a couple of times where CGI is used, and it is really bad. And I honestly wish they would have avoided that altogether, because again, for how beautiful this film looks and how beautifully it's shot, when the CGI pops up, it's so different. The contrast is there that it just almost took me out of the film because it's so noticeable. But other than that, it's a really moving story. There's a lot to love about this movie. Anyway, News of the World is currently in theaters, but I think it's supposed to be on demand fairly soon. So whenever you get a chance to watch the movie, please come back, let me know what you think about it, and share your thoughts in the comment section below. While you're here, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this.